Right, so where do you want to go next, Mr. Boulder?
So, do you want to talk about another couple of albums from 1971 that we're both familiar with?
Yeah, definitely.
So, the two albums we've agreed to talk about in advance, also, of course, from 1971, is from two of what I consider to be the holy trinity of hard rock and heavy metal, those bands being Deep Purple, Black Sabbath, of course, alongside Led Zeppelin. Obviously, they were not including Zepp here because they didn't put out a record in 1971. So, would you want to talk about Black Sabbath's Master Reality first, or Deep Purple's Fireball?
Oh, did you just say Led Zeppelin did bring an album out in 1971, or did I
Don't think
mishear you?
they did, or did Zeppelin
No, Led.
fall in 1971?
Yeah, that's 1971.
Well, we haven't done our homework on that one, so we'll leave that one for this time and just talk about Fireball and Master Reality.
Maybe that's one for another day as well.
Yeah, up for that, definitely.
Let's talk about Deep Purple because that's the first of my notes that came up on my laptop just then. So,
Right, okay.
I haven't actually got I haven't got a physical copy of this, so I'll have to leave that solely to you.
Here we go. Oh God, it's so hard to get this in the right room. So this is the second copy I got of this because the first one I got is pretty beat up. I found this one out at a record fair in much better condition. There's a gatefold for you. A nice picture of the guys.
I've never seen the gatefold version.
Yeah, there's the back. Not a lot to see there. Quickly get the record out. There's not too much to show. It's got that classic old school Harvest label. This one's in fantastic condition. The previous copy I had was really beaten up. Tons of surface noise. Didn't matter how much I cleaned the record up. It didn't improve. Found this one out at a record fair and much better condition. Listened to it just last night, actually. Crystal clear sound. Sit the needle down. No crackles, no pops. So, yeah. Fireball, also from 1971. Recorded by the Mark II lineup, of course. Let's have a quick look right here. Richie Blackmore, Ian Gill on the vocals, Roger Glover on bass, John Lord drums, John Lord's keyboards, Ian Pace on the drums. So, do you want to go straight into the tracks?
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah. So, first track is, of course, title track Fireball. What's your impressions of a title track, first song?
I mean, this is just a great album opener, isn't it?
I think so.
No messing about.
Drum intro for me and Pace is absolutely outstanding. I don't think Ian Pace gets talked about anywhere near enough with regards to classic rock drummers. Not like John Bonham does, you know. The drum intro is great. Yeah, for me, great song. Richie Blackmore's guitar playing is, as always, fantastic. Great chorus, like Gillan's vocals as well. It's the way that you should open up an album, as far as I'm concerned. Sang with lots of energy. Great tune. I really enjoyed the title track, Fireball, first song. Great stuff, as far as I'm concerned.
I'm 100% with you on Ian Pace being an underrated classic rock drummer. And yeah, the intro is brilliant. I think his drumming's really good throughout the whole album as well.
Yeah, I think so.
I'm guessing this song is probably considered quite heavy for the time.
Yeah, I would have thought so.
I mean, not just the guitar riffs either, but just the speed of the song and the double kick drum. It probably wasn't a lot of stuff like this in 1971.
Yeah, it hadn't been done a lot, it has to be said.
I know we're going to talk about something that was very heavy for its time a little bit later, but
yeah,
I'd imagine this must have really stood out when it first came out.
I think so. When something's at the start of a lifespan, in this case, hard rock was, you know, anything that ups the ante from what come out before is something that's definitely going to get taken notice of. Open track, title track, fantastic. Your title track should always be very strong. There's not many albums out there where you hear a title track and think, that is one of the weakest songs on the album. What on earth is that the title track of this album? But not the case here. Opening track Fireball, yeah, it's great. I really, really love it. Good tune.
Yeah, I've always loved this song. My mum actually was the one who got me into this song when I was about 14 because she has this on vinyl. Not the version you've got. I think it's an early 70s version, but it's not the gatefold version. So it's some kind of reprint.
Yeah, I'm not sure what pressing this is I've got actually.
Yeah, I kind of wish I had a copy to show you, but yeah, she kind of introduced me to this album, and yeah, Fireball in particular has always stood out. I've always loved that song.
Yeah, it's an essential Purple track as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, and around that time, I really got into Deep Purple for a while. Yeah, particularly Machine Head and Made in Japan. I think Deepest Purple was a compilation album I really liked, and Come Hell or High Water, the '93 live video, I used to watch constantly. But yeah, Fireball has always stood out to me, and probably one of two songs that I'd consider my favourite on this album, I think.
Yeah, it's definitely one of my favourites. In fact, it might actually be my favourite. It's a classic track with good reason, you know. Again, this is one of those ones that can come on rock radio and I'm never going to be bored of listening to it. Just a fantastic way to open an album, no doubt about it. And it's a classic song for a reason as far as I'm concerned.
What is the noise at the start? Is it some sort of like elevator?
That's what it sounds like to me. Whenever I listen, it sounds like an elevator, or as we call them here in the UK, a lift, of course. But yeah, that's the impression I get of what the sound effects is. If you'd have said something else, I would have been surprised, I must say. So yeah, we're both on the same page as far as that's concerned.
Yeah, maybe we need someone to come into the comments, and if someone knows exactly what that sound is,
yeah, feel free to jump in the comments and let us know. But I think we're right in what we're guessing at.
Yeah, but yeah, like you said, fantastic opening song, and yeah, the perfect way to start an album.
Yeah, definitely, I agree. You want to go on to track 2?
Yeah.
So track 2 is No, No, No.
I should have said no, no, no then, shouldn't I? But
yeah, you should have done. Yeah, the dad joke game would have been strong, mate.
Yeah,
what do you think about this one?
I love the main riff in this song.
Yeah.
There's some really nice bass lines in this song that really sort of stand out to me. One thing I would say about this song, and I kind of feel like this with the whole album in a way. So I don't know if we're going to do like a sort of general overview, but I'll say this now because it provides a bit of context of how I feel about the album. But I think this album is the sound of a band who are kind of short of ideas, but I think the ideas they do have are brilliant. But I think this song is an example of a sort of a lack of direction. It kind of sort of meanders a little bit. It doesn't necessarily ruin my enjoyment of the song. I still think it's a really good song, but I think there's a bit of a lack of direction within the whole album, and I think it comes through a little bit on this song. Do you think that's a fair comment, or was that harsh?
No, my opinion of this song is it's a song that I do enjoy. At the same time, if I was the producer of this record, I would be definitely shortening the length of this song. Because for me, in places, it plods unnecessarily. And it could definitely do with being edited down a bit. That said, like you said earlier, I do really like Richie Blackmore's guitar lines. Yeah, like you say, Roger Glover's bass is good. John Lord's little keyboard parts sound good. I do like the vocals in the verses. But like I say, for me, it just plods a little bit. It doesn't need to be as long as it is, personally. But overall, it's a song that I still do enjoy.
I think they kind of had to. Yeah, I think to be fair to the band, I think they were kind of forced into making this sort of in between touring commitments, and they just didn't have the time to really work on it as to the extent they wanted to.
Yeah,
and I think it does come through a little bit on this song, which is kind of a shame because I think, like I said, the ideas they do have throughout are really, really good, but it's just a lack of direction lets the album down a bit for me.
Yeah, cool. Yeah. Right, so track 3 then, Demon's Eye. You want to talk first, or shall I?
I'm happy to talk first.
Yeah, go for it.
I'd say this is the other song that I would consider possibly my favourite on the album. Nice 12-bar, sort of 12-bar boogie in a way, I guess. Yeah, again, a really good riff. I like the chorus. I like the way when Ian Gillan sings "Sly, Sly" and it matches the guitar string bends.
Yeah,
that's one of my favourite bits of the song. And again, Ian Pace's drumming is great, and the way he changes the drumming on the third and the fourth verse, so it's slightly different from the earlier verses, is just really effective and really helps sort of drive the song forward. So yeah, another one I've always really liked. And yeah, a really, really strong song, and yeah, one of the better songs on the album for me.
Yeah, I mean, I'd have to be in total agreement. Again, great riffs from Richie. I really enjoy Ian Gillan's vocals in the verses, and particularly in the chorus as well. When he just says "Demon Eye," it sounds quite laid back, but sounds very good at the same time. It's just really catchy, great chorus. The riffing, it's quite a mid-tempo song. You know, the riff, you would think it almost sounds like it needs a little bit of a faster beat behind it, but the beat that Ian Pace plays suits it really well. Very enjoyable track. It's definitely one of my favourites on this album. And I would probably say that this, well, no, it is definitely one of my favourite songs on the album. Another one of those ones I can listen to over and over again. I'll never tire of it. But yeah, the riffs are really, really good. I mean, Richie across the whole album is very good, as you would expect of a guitar player of his quality and reputation. But yeah, it's definitely an improvement on the second song for me. Demon's Eye, yeah, good tune. I like that one a lot.
Yeah, really strong.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I think Ian Gillan has got that sort of a similar thing to Roger Daltrey, where he can just change his voice in an instant, and it's not jarring at all. It just really works.
He's got such a good range as well.
Yeah,
because he can hit some really nice highs, and then, like I say, in the chorus, it sounds sort of quite laid back and quite low compared to the vocals that he's doing in the verses. So, like you say, he can definitely switch up the styles and do it with ease as well.
Slightly going off on one for a second. Have you? Their new album's out today, isn't it?
Not sure actually. I know it's coming out. It might be out already. I'm not sure.
I was wondering if you've heard any of it, because I haven't yet.
No, I haven't actually. The last album I got was the terribly titled Whoosh, which was a decent album actually. But yeah, I've not heard the new one, so I won't lie. I kind of forgot it was coming out.
Yeah, Whoosh is a terrible title for an album.
Yeah, not very good at all.
As an album title, I think that's worse than Limp Bizkit's cover of Behind Blue Eyes.
Yeah, it's not good at all. I mean, they really didn't spend a lot of time thinking about that one whatsoever. It's almost like a car drove down them all in the street really, really fast, and they said, "Oh, that's a good name for an album," because it made the whoosh sound as it went past. Not good. But never mind. We'll go on to track 4. So last track on side A is Anyone's Daughter. Not a big fan of this one. It's okay. The first time I heard it, I remember really did not like it at all. It's grown on me a bit. I don't hate it at all, but if I was to skip a song from this record, it would definitely be this one. Which is weird because there's parts of the song that I do actually really enjoy. I mean, again, I'm repeating myself. Richie's guitar playing, some of the guitar playing this, so I do enjoy. The lyrics I quite like, even though they are a bit silly at the same time. But to me, it's a bit of a disjointed song. It sounds like it's trying to be one thing, and then it sounds like it's trying to be something else. And for me, the mix of the things that it's trying to do doesn't really sort of gel together properly. It's easily my least favorite on the album so far, personally. What do you think?
Yeah, Ian Gillan has gone on record as saying it was a mistake to put this on the album, and I'm guessing that a lot of Deep Purple fans probably don't like this song.
Yeah,
but
it just sounds out of place on this album to me.
I've got to say, I love this song. I'm unashamedly putting out there that I love this song. This was one that my mum has always been particularly keen on, so I don't know if that kind of plays into it a little bit. But I really like this song. I think when that was definitely not a noise of agreement, was it?
No, it was not.
I've got to say, when that slide guitar first comes in on the intro, I think that is a genuinely beautiful piece of music, and it kind of gets me every time. Something about it, I don't know what it is, but I think the chords in the song are really nice. There's really nice chord changes. And I'm kind of a bit of a sucker for those sort of story songs that kind of have a little bit of a twist at the end, even if, you know, it is a bit of a silly song. You're right. It's a bit like Gallows Pole by Led Zeppelin. This is like, it sort of takes you along, and then right at the end there's a bit of a twist. And I kind of like songs like that.
Except Gallows Pole by Led Zeppelin is way better than this song.
Yeah, there's an argument to be made for that. I won't disagree with that. Did they ever do any other songs like this, or is this like one of the only times they've done something a bit light-hearted?
Not that I can think of off the top of my head. I can't think of anything else like this, to be honest. I mean, I haven't heard the entire Purple discography, so there may well be something out there that's similar that I'm not aware of. But off the top of my head, I can't hear anything, or I don't know of anything, I should say, that's similar to this.
But I think there's got to be a special mention for the end of the second chorus, when Ian Gillan sings, "I made the judge's daughter," and he just says, "Yes, I did. It was nice."
Yeah, that's quite good, actually.
Yeah.
A bit of humour in there.
So I have to disagree, and this is not my least favourite song on the album. I really like this song, and I know people are shaking their heads and probably throwing things at the telly right now. But I really like this song, and there, I've said it.
Yeah, no, there's parts of it I like, but yeah, on the whole, it's not for me. But like I say, I like it more now than I did. When I just absolutely hated everything about it and had no time for it whatsoever. I have warmed to it a little bit over the years, but it's still not one that I really look forward to hearing when it comes on.
No, I could
terrible, you know, but yeah, not my favourite.
I could totally understand why. I'll say that.
Yeah. Right, okay, so let's go on to side 2 then, and the Mule, first track. What's your opinion on this one?
I think this is another song that is a good example of the band lacking a bit of direction and being short of ideas. Again, I like the song. I've got no real issues with the song, really. But I think this is the one I'd say is probably the weakest on the album. It reminds me a little bit of Cream, this song. Just the vocal melodies and the drums. It's got a bit of a Cream vibe.
Yeah.
I quite like the effect on the vocals, like a phaser effect. And I think the keyboards, and when the keyboard does a solo, then there's the guitar solo, I think they've got the same phaser effect. So I quite like that. And good performance by good performance by Ian Gillan, but particularly by Ian Pace. And I like the effect on the drums towards the end as it really sort of builds up, like momentarily. But and there's a really nice bit in the middle where it's just Richie Blackmore's guitar and Ian Pace's drums, and it kind of feels like the song's about to go somewhere quite interesting, but then it just sort of goes back to what it was doing before. And again, I think it just sort of meanders and doesn't really go anywhere. So I do like this song. I've got no real issues with it, but I'd say this is the weakest song on the album.
Yeah, not much of a fan of this one either. This one and Anyone's Daughter, for me, is what makes this album drag. These two songs for me are easily the weakest. Again, I don't hate everything about this song. It's got some qualities about it I do like you say, Ian Paice's drums. I enjoy everything he plays on the whole song, but for me, the drum performance is wasted on a bit of a nothing song. Again, yeah, there's some good guitar work from Richie Blackmore, but I've said it before and I'll say it again. Great guitar riffs means nothing if the song isn't that good in general. But it's okay. I can listen to the song when I'm listening to the album, and I don't mind it. But if it wasn't on the album, I certainly wouldn't miss it at the same time. But yeah, Ian Paice's drum parts are wasted in a song that for me doesn't really go anywhere. And yeah, just not much of a fan of this one at all. That's all I can really say about it.
It
It's
probably is
okay,
Ian.
but that's it for me.
Yeah, it probably is Ian Paice's drumming that kind of saves the song in a way.
It carries the song as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, definitely.
But yeah, Ian Gillan's vocals, again, they're good, you know. But it's like they've thrown everything at the wall and to see what sticks. And this time, it doesn't work so well for me. And yeah, not much of a fan of this one. This one lets the record down alongside Anyone's Daughter for me.
Yeah, I'll say that's fair enough.
Right, so next track is Fools. What do you think about this one?
So I'll start with the intro. The intro really reminds me of the Live at Pompeii version of Careful with That Axe Eugene by Pink Floyd. I don't know if you're familiar with that.
No, I don't know that, no.
Yeah, it really gives me strong Pink Floyd Live at Pompeii vibes. But this is an interesting one because I really like the things I like about this song. It's a bit like the whole album, actually. The things I like about this song, I really, really like. I particularly like the choruses in this song, although I can't really explain why I do. There's just something about them that are just very pleasing. Maybe it's the melody, I don't know, but I really like the chorus of this song. I like Ian Gillan's performance. It sounds like he's kind of pushing his voice to the limits with this one, but I think it's really effective. But I think this is probably the biggest example of the lack of direction on this album. So the instrumental section, it's nice and atmospheric and everything, and it's quite nice to listen to. But again, it doesn't go anywhere, and I think this song really suffers because of it. Because as I said, the stuff I like about it, I really do like, and I feel like this could be a much better song, but it's just that instrumental section. Just again, it meanders. It doesn't go anywhere. And it's kind of a shame, really. I kind of feel that most with this song, I think. It could be so much better. But what I do like about it, I really like.
That's funny for me because I'm going to completely disagree with you here. The instrumental part is my favourite part of the song.
That's interesting.
Yeah, with Ian Paice's drums, and sounds like Richie's doing some like volume swells on the guitar with the effect that he's creating. That's my favourite part of the song. As far as the song in general goes, sorry,
just to quickly say, I don't mind listening to it. I do like it, but I just think it shows a lack of direction. I think this song in particular suffers because of it.
Yeah,
but I do like listening to that section. I've got nothing against it really, as the way it sounds. But
that's my favourite part. I mean, the song up until then, it's okay. And there's parts that I like, but nothing really sort of grabs me or stands out. And when you're looking at a band like Deep Purple with the high caliber of musicians that they've got, I'm personally expecting more from this band, and apart from the sort of the mid to outro part, there's nothing that really sticks out in memory too much for me on this one. But that said, I definitely enjoy it more than the two previous songs that came before it. But Falls for me is a song where, the latter part of the song is what I like best, and Early Doors, not too bothered at all about it. It's bang average. The latter part is my favourite part of the song.
There you
There's
go.
not really much else for me to say about it, to be honest.
No, like I said, it just feels like it could be so much better. But yeah,
Yeah, I
again,
agree.
it's that lack of direction. And if they had more time to work on the album, yeah, it could have been so much better.
Yeah,
But there we go.
yeah, cool. So yeah, last song, No One Came. For me, a big improvement on the three songs that have come before it. Again, Richie's riffs on this one really sort of helped make the song. I enjoy the riffs. Ian Pace again, drums. I can't knock it at all. I think his performance on this entire record is one of the best performances on the record. And Gillan's vocals again, I really enjoy. For me, this album's definitely ending on a higher note than what's come before it. It's still not the best song on this album, though, not by a long way. But for me, it does help the album end definitely stronger.
Yeah, it's a good album. It's a good album closer, I think.
Yeah, a lot of the instrumental parts I really enjoy in this song, especially towards the end. And yeah, just definitely an improvement on the last couple of songs that have come before it for me. Saves the album from going out on a bit of a whimper as far as I'm concerned. But yeah, that's what I think about the last track. What about yourself?
Yeah, I pretty much agree with everything you just said then. It's got a nice sort of driving rhythm to it. Lenny by Supergrass reminds me a little bit of this song. That kind of like stabbing sort of that continuous note kind of thing. But yeah, it definitely it does end the album on a bit of a high note. Again, I think the choruses are really strong in this song. I like the lyrics. I guess they're quite hearted lyrics, really, not in the same way as Anyone's Daughter's light-hearted, but yeah, I like the lyrics, and I like the backwards piano at the end of the song. That's effective. There's something about the sound of this album, like the production, and I think this song I notice it mostly with this song. It's kind of got a bit of a nighttime feel. I think this is a nighttime album. I don't know exactly what it is about the sound that makes me think that, but it's a nighttime album, I think. And another thing I noted down, and I think this kind of applies in general, really, but Richie Blackmore is quite a unique guitarist because he'll kind of there always seems to be the odd note here and there during his solos that you kind of don't expect, and I think it makes his solos quite quirky. Obviously, he's a fantastic guitarist, but he's just very different from other guitarists. Like I said, just now and again, there'll be a note in there or a little passage that you just don't expect.
I think his guitar playing reflects his quirky personality.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah. Yeah, in general, I like this song. I think it's a bit of a step up from the few songs that have come before it. And yeah, it's a good closer. Yeah, can't really pick fault with this album. It's I don't think it's a classic, but it's certainly not a bad song at all. I think it's solid, really.
Right, so I'll talk about my general feelings about the album quickly. For me, it's definitely a mixed bag. It's got some real highlights, particularly the title track. Demon's Eye is fantastic as well. But there's a couple of tracks that are real filler. I mean, that said, I can still listen to this record from start to finish. And the filler songs or the weaker songs, they don't make me think, oh, I'm going to skip this. I can still listen to them and take enjoyment out of parts of them. So I never have to feel like I need to skip anything from this record. But it does make me feel like the record's a bit unbalanced. And I mean, when it's firing on all cylinders, it's really firing on all cylinders. But in other places, it's really stuttering, struggling to get out of second gear. But like I say, I can still listen to the whole thing from start to finish and enjoy it. But it's definitely not as solid as other Purple albums that spring to mind. I mean, I can think of at least 3 other Purple albums off the top of my head, which I enjoy way more than this one from start to finish. A decent album, but I've got to go, if I'm going to go with the mark out of 10, I'm probably going to have to go with about 6, maybe a 7. Like I say, when it's good, it's really good. When it's not, it's really testing my patience. So what do you think about Burn, Paul? Burn, Fireball.
I really like Burn.
yeah.
I pretty much echo exactly what you've just said. I think you've really hit the nail on the head. Like I said earlier, it's a band short of ideas, but the ideas they have got are fantastic, but they just haven't got enough of them. And some songs really suffer because of that lack of direction, and they don't really go anywhere. But when it's good, it's really good. So I'd say if we're allowed to do 0.5s in our marks, I'd give this a 6.5. I think Fireball and Demon's Eye are great songs.
Yeah.
I do like Anyone's Daughter. I like No One Came. Probably, yeah, I'd say they're the strongest songs on the album. Yeah, I can happily sit down and enjoy the whole album. But yeah, it's clearly a band that haven't got enough ideas, really.
I think the ideas are there. I think it might be a case of the album was rushed.
Yeah, when I say no ideas, I think maybe haven't got enough ideas to make it a better album.
Yeah. Although what I'm thinking is that maybe there wasn't enough time spent on pre-production.
Yeah.
You know, maybe whoever produced this album didn't hear a lot of it before they actually went to the studio. And I think more time with the producer listening to these songs will make them sit there and go, right, this needs to change, that needs to change, because this song doesn't really sort of go anywhere. For me, Demon's Eye and the title track, by a long shot, the best songs on this album, and by some considerable distance. For me, they leave the others quite a long way behind. So yeah, that's my summing up of Deep Purple's Fireball from 1971. Anything else you want to add, mate?
I think you're right what you say about the production side of it, but you probably have to blame the management for just not giving the band enough time to work on the album either. And I think Richie Blackmore,
absolutely, you know, because they would have been under pressure from the record company back then to capitalize on the success of the previous album. And it's not the first time we would have seen that happen with bands where they've rushed out a record and it's not up to standards of some of the other stuff that they've done. So
yeah, it's definitely rushed, as you said. And to be fair, considering it's rushed, it's actually a pretty good album.
Yeah, and the performances from everyone individually are fantastic, particularly Ian Pace. I think his drums are absolutely superb across the entire record. The drums sound great on this record as well. I mean, Richie Blackmore, of course, the guitar playing's great. Writes amazing riffs, very catchy riffs as well. Of course, the solos are good. Ian Gillan's voice, excellent. And John Lord's keyboards and Roger Glover's bass, again, very, very good. You know, as far as your musical capability is concerned, no issues with this record at all. But for me, the songwriting is nowhere near as strong as it could be. A couple of real highlights, but some disappointing songs in there as well. But nothing truly terrible. Even Anyone's Daughter, I can still find bits in that I don't mind at all, you know. But if I had to take a song off of this record, that for me would definitely be the first one to go. But that's what my opinion on Deep Purple's Fireball.
I think we should set a reminder for this date in 5 years' time, and we should reevaluate Anyone's Daughter and see how you feel about it then.
Yeah, that's probably not a bad idea.